2025. I'm John DeWanzik, and this is the regular meeting of the Avon Lake Board of Municipal Utilities. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed on Facebook and YouTube, and there's an opportunity for input from people who are in that audience by commenting in the comments section. And Mr. Urinich will be letting us know if anybody comments that. Other public input from people in the room. There's two opportunities, one in the beginning and one at the end of the meeting. And each address of the board is limited to 3 minutes each. On the board with me tonight, to my right is Mr. Ricky and Mrs. Schnabel, and to my left is Mr. Mondello and Mr. Rush. So we have a full board here tonight. Accordingly, a minimum of 3 votes is necessary to pass any motion that is made. All votes will be taken by voice vote with the exception of any motion to go into executive session, although we don't have one of those scheduled tonight. Also with me tonight to my right is Chief Utilities Executive, Mr. Rob Monroe, and at the table, the aforementioned Mr. Greg Urinich. Also at the table is outside counsel Anthony Coyne. In the audience tonight, we are welcoming from the McMahon DeGoulas law firm, Megan Godiger, and the namesake, Lou McMahon. From the county, we have Karen Perkins and former Senator Jeffrey Armbruster. We also have, seeing to our safety, Officer Riggs from the Avon Lake Police Department, and citizens Ryan McDavid and Bill Zimmerman. Did I miss anyone? Okay, Mr. Rush, did I miss anyone besides forgetting your name? Did I miss anyone?
I think we got that one.
Okay, so therefore, dispensing with the perfunctory, let's move on with the first item of business, which is the approval of minutes from the August 19th meeting. Are there any comments on those? Hearing none, they are approved as submitted. We're going to try to fast pace this meeting a little bit tonight because a couple of us have some business with City Council tonight. First, after the approval of the minutes, there's an opportunity for public speakers. Anyone in the audience care to address the board? Mr. McDavid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am Ryan McDavid. I live on 232 Jaycox, Avon Lake. I met some of you before when I served on the Charter Review Board, some through wrestling, some through my wife, and met Mr. Rush through my wife. So professionally, I'm with Labor's Local 758. My jurisdiction covers Lorraine County. We are very thrilled about the 6119 and what it could bring as an economic development, but also what our workers could prove what we could do. We run a lot of projects here. We have Great Lakes as a signatory contractor at your guys' facility at the moment. Your underground utilities just kicked off, I believe, this week or starting to work this week. So we're just thrilled about it. And I just want to build a relationship with everyone involved and show what we could do, how we can help through anything through this process, and to let you know that we are here and we're very excited about this. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McDavid. Anyone else? Mr. Zimmerman.
William Zimmerman. So I've learned about, while I've been traveling, about this Central Lake Erie Regional Water Reclamation District. The problem I'm having is that we want to charge them $2 a year to have us run their sewer. And yet, those of us who've lived here for decades, I've lived here over half a century, and I invested in this company. I invested in Avon Lake Regional Water. because I paid my taxes, my sewer bill. And yet now, I feel as though you guys want to give it away. I don't understand that. The 25,000 residents of this community now are expecting that you guys take what regional water does and disperse it to other places and take care of them. Yeah, I should have a vested interest in this. Now, I read that you can potentially sell it back, option to buy. After 50 years, I'll be long in the ground by then, as most of us will be. I don't understand why we're doing it this way. Why aren't we charging them more than $2 annually? This program goes all the way to Grafton, Eden, whatever it is. Just one line currently, running north and south. I don't get it. Now we're going to expand out into all these other places eventually. And then what? All of those citizens who've paid their taxes and their sewer bills for 50 years or more will have received nothing in return, except they keep getting their sewer bill, which I assume will be going up. So just like the Lorain County water system was recently sued for raising rates and not having it work appropriately, they lost in court. Class action lawsuit. Gerald Phillips was the winning lawyer. $16 to $26 million is going to be the settlement. This sounds like the same deal.
Thank you, Mr. Zimmerman. I urge you to stay on for the rest of the meeting, and you may have some.
I, like you, have other places I need to be so that I can be at City Hall meetings.
Okay, well, you'll probably hear the same story there.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Okay, Mr. Urinich, is there anything from the public online?
There is not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The next item of business is correspondence. Mr. Monroe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have one item to pass along this evening, correspondence. Pleased to announce that Avon Lake Regional Water is the 2025 recipient of the Ohio Water Conservation Excellence Award, given out by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. You have some signage that we can display. This award was given to us in recognition of installing our large-scale wash water system in 2016 at the water filtration plant. And since 2016, this has saved over 1.9 billion gallons of Lake Erie water. So this is also water saved from Lake Erie, but this is also an efficiency aspect for our water reclamation facility, because we're not sending that water there. So want to thank staff, specifically Mr. Gibney, who applied for this, did all the legwork on it, but without all of staff's hard work on this, it wouldn't have made it possible. So thank you.
Thank you for you and the rest of the staff for the hard work that resulted in it. Any comments from the board on that? Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the expenditures from August 15th to August 28th. Would someone like to make the motion? Mr. Ricky.
I move that we accept the expenditures from August 15th, 2025 through August 28th, 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Ricky. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Schnabel. Discussion, Mr. Ricky.
Yes, item account 701, item 32. It looks like it's a chain of some type, a collector chain.
So in the sedimentation basins, the settling basins, lines. There's plastic chain that runs the flight and collector systems that had to be replaced.
How often do we end up replacing that?
I believe that is the first time that we've had to do that big of a replacement. Occasionally you'll get a couple of links here and there, but that was originally installed, I want to say, I think that was 1990.
Okay, so we got our money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
And this is not an expense that's recurring
No, it's
at
not
any planned interval or anything.
correct.
Okay.
I believe all the basins now have upgraded chains.
Gotcha. Okay, it's just a big number, that's all. Very good, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ricky. Mr. Mondello.
Yes, 701, line 53, the property tax looks like a reimbursement or a refund.
Mhm.
Is that from the property purchases and revals or?
Yeah, I mean, it's showing as Waterbury Avenue. I think with that, the date on that, that's when it was audited, just because it was from 2017. So it was when they audited, they owed us more than what they refunded us originally.
Oh.
So yes, it would have been from property purchase.
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Mondello? Waterbury, get it?
Strategic purchase.
Any other comments on this? I have a couple. On Fund 701, these appear twice, once in 701, once in 721. We have voided checks for uncashed meal allowances. Why is that?
Mr. Yurnich can explain that.
So those were checks as part of a past collective bargaining agreement. If an operator or an employee worked more than 10 hours, they were given a $10 meal allowance. There was a number of those that employees had never cashed. The city, as they were going through trying to clean up some of the uncashed checks, they were putting those in an unclaimed funds account for 5 years. They could still be claimed by those employees if they so decided, but once they make it through that 5-year holding period,
Or forfeit?
they would be returned to our general fund.
Okay. And the following item is education allowance, PR, post, BW, some numbers. What's that all about?
Which line item?
18750, item 16 on Fund 701.
Education allowance. So that is probably going to show up. It's probably paid out of 723 also. I'm going to,
That's correct.
yes. Probably going to total. That is going to be a stipend for, I don't recall the
I'm not sure
employees,
which one.
but it was one of our employees per their collective bargaining agreement, their education stipend that they received.
Okay, well, to me, and I'm sure the rest of the board would join me in this, it would make sense to have on such a line item, the name or at least initials of the person involved. Okay, so like we're maybe wondering why somebody gets it, somebody else doesn't.
Sure.
Et cetera. And that's all I have. Anything else from the board? Okay, so the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. The motion is approved. The next item, as promised, is the Clearwater Sewer District. Mr. Monroe, would you like to kick that off?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As part of your write-up in your board packet, gave a brief, very brief history. But in August of 2023, we began working with our partners at Lorain County, as well as Lorco and any other service provider, sewer service provider in the region. We had a meeting that we held at Lorain County Community College, where everyone was invited. It was well attended by many of the service providers in the area to talk about a regional approach to sanitary sewer treatment and conveyance. And since then, we have been working, and again, this is only willing participants, but after 2 years of work, financial feasibility study, a draft petition, plan of operations has been drafted. And we have Lou McMahon from McMahon DeGullis here. He does have a brief presentation that we will go through.
Mr. McMahon, I would ask you to address the rather glaring fact that we're not getting anything for this, or not the fact, but the statement by a member of the public that felt that this was a free ride, but it really isn't.
It is not. Thank you for having me here this evening and for all of us. We've been working on this, as Mr. Monroe said, we've been working on this specifically to find a financially viable approach for this creation of this sewer district, because that's what's required by the statute. That's what the court is going to require. That's what we all require of ourselves, that this has to be efficient and produce benefits for all the users. And the primary one of regionalization, which has been a goal for a long time in this county, has been to realize those efficiencies that come from regionalization, economies of scale, but to keep rates as low as possible for all users, including the current users that send their flow to the Avon Lake facility. So tonight I'm going to just go over again for you and for the public what this creature is under Revised Code Chapter 6119, what the specific proposal for Clearwater, what it will look like, why it is necessary and provides benefits, showing that it is financially viable, and we've taken great care and time to make sure we're satisfied with that. And then to underscore that this is the beginning, in many ways, of a very public process to go through this. The documents are on the website already. There's this meeting, there's upcoming meetings at City Council, and that's just to become a petitioner, and I'll go through the whole stretch. After that, there's a joint public meeting by the petitioners for all the public. There's opportunity to receive comment by email, and ultimately then it gets filed with the court, and then there's a hearing before a judge on this. So it's very public here going forward, and this is really kicking it off. So what is a Revised Code 6119 Regional Sewer District? If you think of a school board for schools or metro parks for parks, this is a special government entity that under 6119 of the Revised Code can do water or sewer service or both. In our circumstance, we're only looking at this entity that will do regional sanitary treatment and conveyance. It will not do local water service. And we've been really careful to define this. And, there's another slide with the specific there. So we needed something really defined so we could test the financial viability of it. So this is just regional. It's going to do regional treatment and conveyance of sanitary sewer. It's not going to do local sewers. It's not going to do billing to households or other customers. It's not going to do stormwater. So it's highly focused here. Next, please. There is a statutory process. This is sort of condensed from what the Revised Code 6119, I think 02 requires. You have to create a petition and plan of operation. You have the drafts that we have for public comments in your packets. So we've done that first step of creating those. We're asking tonight and going forward that Avon Lake collectively be a petitioner along with the Board of County Commissioners. You may have seen that the board already acted and passed a resolution to become a petitioner on last Friday. So to move forward this among the partners, Lorco would be a petitioner, but as a existing 6119 entity, it cannot, under the statute, become a petitioner for another 6119. And once the petitioners are established, then jointly we have to hold at least one public hearing and take comments from that and make any revisions to the petition plan of operation, and then file that with the court. And then once we file that with the court will set a deadline, a timeline. It takes at least 4 weeks of notice, and then there'll be a final hearing. Next, please. What we're asking for you to support and to declare yourself petitioners for is the Central Lake Erie Regional Water Reclamation District. We like an easily pronounceable acronym, so Clearwater was the winner. And it'll be created by these entities who will all be partners and will all benefit from this new entity. Next, please. These are long-time efforts from Lorraine County. I mean, Mr. Monroe talked about it 2 years ago, we had our meeting. Those pictures are from that meeting, which had all the service providers. But it actually goes back to 2009, where there were efforts to start regionalization in this area. It was a federal grant that allowed the study of it and a report that was finished in 2012. It kind of went on hiatus, but in 2022 and 2023, by the leadership of the county, brought everybody together to try to explore really viable situations to make that regionalization a realized dream come true, so that there would be efficiencies there. The picture in the middle of those is actually John Bernstein from Ohio EPA, and he was talking about what financial resources they have available and how important regionalization is for them because of the economies of scale, because of the resiliency. When plants go out, you know, you have one plant that can afford backup power. And then looking ahead to future regulation, you know, the efficiencies are very important to add new processes for nutrients or PFAS or other new requirements that small package plants by themselves are never going to reach. Next, please. It's very clear to talk about, you know, in this effort, the commissioners in particular have been leading efforts to get infrastructure in place to help promote economic development. And there are a couple parallel things going on, but they're separate. On the west side, I'm sure you've seen the news that the commissioners were awarded a $67.4 million grant from the All Ohio Future Fund. The state of Ohio recognized that the future is in Lorraine County, and it's now. Clearwater doesn't exist, so Clearwater cannot play a direct role in that. The commissioners have been leading that. So trying to achieve similar goals. But what we're talking about here is only on the east side of the county, only here in Avon Lake and in areas already being served by the Avon Lake Reclamation Facility. And so it's legally separate, but they have the similar type goals of making sure we plan our infrastructure and get it where it needs to be. Next, please. So what will this Clearwater look like? It'll be governed by a board of trustees. What is proposed is a 3-member board of trustees by the people initially who have been intimately involved with it. That'd be a Lorraine County administrator as an initial trustee for a 2-year term, and then a trustee appointed by the Lorraine County Commissioners. The Lorco executive director as an initial trustee for a 3-year term, and then the Lorco board will appoint a new trustee, and then the Avon Lake chief of municipal or chief of utilities for a 4-year term, and then you would appoint the new trustee after that. Clearwater will be expected to hire a chief executive officer to run day-to-day operations, such as they are. It might be initially just to send out 3 bills to the 3 wholesale customers, but there'll be also somebody to help the board do the day-to-day work. Next. The statute requires that we specify a territory. This is the territory of the petitioning entities and then supporters. So this is, you know, include the city of Avon Lake within the territory. And then that other area that's down Eaton Township, that is the Avon Lake Lorco Phase 1 facility planning area. That is the area that Lorco serves that is tributary to the Avon Lake facility. So that's already an existing, essentially, customer of this facility. The Lorraine County Eaton Estates area is within that lower blue footprint that you see. So it's within the same territory, even though it has its own plant right now. The service area for our economic analysis, you know, we included everything that's within the full FPA. So that includes all the area of Avon Lake and just south there and all the customers that are with that. As well as the area below. So that's the full, when we did the economic analysis, that's what we use to make sure our numbers all work. The important thing to remember is once a 6119 is formed, the territory can be expanded, the service area can be expanded. The 6119s are allowed to expand their territory or serve outside their territory by a contract or agreement. So there are multiple ways that this entity, from if it makes sense and only when it makes sense financially for the existing customers, as well as where there are willing participants, would this entity grow. So how would it operate? Clearwater will lease the facility. It's a 30-year lease. It is the lease is not where the economic benefit is coming back to the utilities or the ratepayers. It comes back from having uniform treatment rates across all users and doing what we can to keep those as low as possible and to grow those so that there's more economies of scale. Clearwater will purchase from Lorco their pump station and the two transmission lines, the 12-inch and 16-inch lines that come to the plant today. And then Clearwater will contract with Avon Lake Regional Water to operate the facility. So it's important, these are things that Avon Lake employees are already operating. No one at Avon Lake will lose a job by the establishment of Clearwater. It's intended to be a turnkey situation. Next, please. This is very important because we spent a lot of time with all these different good ideas and possibilities of regionalization. But in order to establish a 6119, you have to be very defined. You have to show that it's economically viable under a time frame. So what this plan of operations spells out is that this entity will treat regional wastewater flow that comes to the facility. It'll be responsible for the regional conveyance to the facility. It will do regional master planning for infrastructure. That's one of the tasks it'll have, and it will chase grants to help fund that. And then, where necessary, construct assets for additional regional service. Very importantly, what Clearwater will not do is important. It's not going to take over any local collection systems. So Avon Lake Regional Water will continue to manage the collection system in Avon Lake, and everywhere that it does, it will send out the bills to retail customers. Clearwater will not take over the NPDS permit while Avon Lake is the operator of this facility. And ultimately, even if it does someday take over the plant, it will not take over the collection system and the CSO issues that you have. It will not be responsible for any stormwater management. There are existing stormwater relationships here. The statute allows 6119 within the definition of wastewater to manage stormwater, and that was confirmed by the Ohio Supreme Court a few years ago with the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District case. For Clearwater to get into the stormwater business, it would have to go back to court and amend the plan of operations. So it's not going to be in the stormwater business. It's also not going to be in the drinking water business. Same thing, it would have to go back to court to get that approved, and there's no reason for it to do so. So the statute requires that we show that Clearwater is necessary and beneficial. Clearwater is providing centralized water reclamation. There is available capacity at the Avon Lake facility, and taking a package plant offline at Eaton Estates and other opportunities can also provide the best quality treatment. It'll improve water quality. It'll provide consistent, stable, and equitable rates where all users that send flow to the plant will be charged the same treatment rate within the sub-district, and this entity, this territory I mentioned, will be one district. Provides flexibility on how to support either economic development initiatives and future customer needs, like with new regulation, and greater efficiency, not only with regulation, but in managing sewer debt. And that's, I know, important to the city of Avon Lake. The debt that is attached to these sewer assets will be with this new government. Next. So the benefits flow from why it's necessary: lowest cost wastewater treatment, optimize existing assets in a regional approach instead of competitive overlapping assets that are inefficient, better planning and more planning for future service capacity. Again, be able to meet future regulations that we expect are coming and are going to require costly new treatment, but it'll improve water quality, and it'll put Lorraine County on the eastern part in position to, again, realize those efficiencies with low-cost wastewater treatment. Next. We did a lot of study, and this took a lot of work. We have Raftellus here tonight. Jeff Duke is here, and Raftellus is a national firm that does rate analysis and utility financial analysis. They did the rate study for this utility a couple years ago, and we used the information of this utility and your budgets that you have to see if Clearwater steps into those shoes with conservative assumptions. Is Clearwater financially viable, essentially starting from zero? And we were very pleased to say the rates would be the same for Clearwater as they were projected for Avon Lake, the treatment rates. So you see those are actually two different entities. The black is Avon Lake Regional Water, and Clearwater is the other, and they're identical. So the rates are not going to go up for any users just by the establishment of Clearwater. We're very happy to show that, and then the financial feasibility report that you have demonstrates that this entity can pay for itself even with current conservative assumptions. We did not include any margin for expected growth, which we know is happening. We took the average of different years in terms of flow, so we have a good basis, not expecting a wet year, which might be more profitable, or a dry year, or whatever. And there's support there, so that's a very detailed report that we think demonstrates the financial feasibility. Again, Clearwater will be a wholesale entity. It'll have 3 customers. It'll charge its treatment rates to Avon Lake Regional Water, to Lorco, and to Lorraine County. And there'll be uniform rates for all those entities. How those entities ultimately put that into the bills that they send to customers is up to those entities. But the treatment side of things will be uniform. So this becomes very public here, and we really encourage people to look at the documents, to ask questions, to come to the meetings. We have you'll see in a moment, we have comment opportunities. But this is the process again. Create a petition. We've done that, and a plan of operation. That's the drafts you have before you. Once the petitioners are declared, then we will hold a public meeting and have that hearing where we do a presentation of everything that's in the packet that you have and receive comments back from the public. That will probably be in later October. We will then take those comments, make any changes we need to the filing documents. We would file the petition and file the plan of operation with the court. Then the court would set a timeline for the final hearing that they want to have. Just so you know, there's a lot of information available. There is a Clearwater website. This is what you would see if you go to that website. A little background on kind of what's in this presentation, and I believe this presentation is also on the website. Next. It'll have the petition that's actually going to be filed with the court asking for it to be formed. Next, it'll have the plan of operations, which specifies how this will operate. Next, this is the financial feasibility report that people can look at, and all the sources of information that were used and the assumptions that were made are detailed in that report. Next, there's a document that gives some of the background in this and some of the responses to what we expect. We frequently asked questions. Will my bill go up? Who will bill me? Those type of things are all already there. And there's also then the ability to add comments or ask questions. And I'm proud to say we already received 2 comments over the weekend. I've responded to them already. We're trying to be very transparent and diligent in our responses to them. So you can send comments to comments@clearwater.org. And of course, there will be at least one joint public meeting for the formation of the district before you ever get to a court filing. Just in summary, Clearwater is necessary and beneficial for the region. There are efficiencies there, economic efficiencies, the best way to keep rates lower, especially with coming environmental regulation, is to have a solid and perhaps growing rate base. We'll optimize existing infrastructure today, and it's only among willing parties. Should note, nobody can be forced to join a 6119 at any point. This is only among willing parties. It will improve water quality. It will maintain low cost rates, and it will support economic development. Again, just because it's been in the press a lot, the efforts on the west side of the county are trying to achieve similar goals and same goals, but that is legally separate from what this entity will and the establishment of this entity here among these folks on the east side, and especially with your assistance. So, any questions? Glad to take them.
Questions from the board? We have been over the topic considerably over the past few years, and we appreciate all the hard work that has been put into it, and we're now at the step where this is all in the public domain. So thank you for your efforts. Mr. Monroe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item on the agenda is the resolution that was provided in your board packet. This is resolution number 2025-03. This is Regional Water Reclamation District. Resolution in support of the creation of Central Lake Erie Regional Water Reclamation District in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 6119. This resolution is very much similar to content what the Lorraine County Board of Commissioners passed last Friday. As you spoke earlier, we do have some business with City Council here shortly. We will have a work session over there, and we also they will be considering this similar resolution for 3 readings. Assuming that the board does pass this. We do have a recommended motion in order for Avon Lake Board of Municipal Utilities by and through the city of Avon Lake to be a petitioner. It will be necessary for us to pass this resolution.
Okay, and this is just the first of numerous steps, as Mr. McMahon pointed out.
Yes, it is. And I think one item specific to that, Mr. Chairman, that I would point out is there is a draft letter of intent or an LOI that is attached to this resolution. If this is passed, this will become a permanent part of our record in the minutes. And because Clearwater as an entity does not exist, obviously we cannot enter into a lease agreement with an entity that does not exist. So, thinking ahead that if Clearwater is formed as an entity, then any of our agreements that would be executed would come back to the board for their authorization.
Okay, and there are these, what did you say, Mr. McMahon, 5 or 6 weeks as a minimum?
There has to be 4 weeks notice before the court hearing. There has to be 2 weeks notice before the joint public hearing.
So there hopefully will be plenty of time for everyone who has an interest to make comments, whatever.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Coyne, anything to add?
I'll just remind there will be 3 readings of the Avon Lake City Council as well, so there will be opportunities for public to comment.
They have had 1 reading already, I believe.
No,
No?
not yet.
No.
No.
Okay, any questions from the board besides me? Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
Sure.
Mr. Rush?
I move for passage of resolution number 2025-03, authorizing the CUE to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the Avon Lake Board of Municipal Utilities and as a petitioner for the creation of the Central Lake Erie Regional Water Reclamation District, also known as Clearwater.
Thank you, Mr. Rush. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ricky. Further discussion? Mr. Rush?
I think this is the time when we really need to talk about how this really does help the citizens of Avon Lake and this Board of Municipal Utilities who's responsible to the residents. The economies of scale here help us. It helps us with LARCO issues. It helps us across the board. This is, in my mind, a very good thing for us to agree to.
Thank you, Mr. Rush. Mr. Monroe, would you care to address in some detail Mr. Rush's question?
Absolutely. I think it's important to point out, as Mr. McMahon talked about in his presentation about a turnkey operation. From the standpoint of our customers, if Clearwater's formed and we enter into this lease agreement, they're not going to notice a difference in service. Our employees are going to continue to operate the facility. We have a long-standing history of regulatory compliance. We know that we worked through our long-term control plan on sewer separations with the Ohio EPA. We've continually been in compliance with our NIPIDs permit. The other big point of this from an economic standpoint is the outstanding debt on the water reclamation facility. Little over $32 million right now. Right now, that's being paid by Avon Lake customers. That debt will be assumed by Clearwater. So now those costs are being spread out among a much broader customer base. So that's the benefit, a big benefit for our customers. Yes, they have invested through rates. And I do want to make it clear, Mr. Zimmerman had stated taxes. There is no tax money that goes to our operation. It is all based on rates. So yes, our customers have paid for that. They've also received the benefit of that infrastructure over the years as well. And now it's like, I guess the analogy of if you're going to sell a car or if you're going to sell a house and you have outstanding debt on it, someone else is going to take over that debt and you're going to be free of that. So you've received a benefit from that asset up to this point, and now those costs are going to be spread out amongst a broader customer base. These customers still will receive the benefit of that asset. There's also from the Lorco standpoint of when Lorco was formed, the debt service on that, the loans were in our name. So there's about $6.7 million that would be transferred to the Clearwater entity. So again, all in all, you have upwards of $39 million in debt that's coming off of our books. From a borrowing capacity, that certainly makes the position not just for utilities, but for the city of Avon Lake much better. So there is where our economic benefits and the economies of scale of infrastructure that is already in the ground, already in operation, and leveraging the regional approach is what's best for our customers and the region. Because as our region grows and we see the successes in our region, our Avon Lake is going to benefit as well.
Okay, could you address the relative ability of the county versus Lorco to service their own debt?
Yeah, so I mean, in the instance of Lorco, Lorco has the force mains and their major pump station that they would sell to Clearwater, and currently that's a system that hasn't grown as it had hoped. So they have. There is some outstanding debt that they owe Avon Lake Regional Water, and that certainly will, this is an opportunity for Avon Lake Regional Water to be made whole. And again, for our ratepayers, that's what's in the best interest for our customers. From the county standpoint, they have a small package plant in Eaton Estates that they are faced with some capital improvements they're going to have to put in. It's a relatively short connection to put a pipe from that package plant to existing infrastructure that the sewer flow will come here. There's about 500 customers on that system. So again, 1,600 customers in Lorco, 500 customers in Eaton Estates. We're going to add about 2,100 customers to our customer base immediately. So again, I think that this puts Lorco in a much better position because it's going to reduce their debt service obligation because they are going to shed about $6.7 million that is paid out of that custodial fund. And it's a benefit for the county because of the fact that they're not going to have to invest money into a package plant and quite frankly have redundant infrastructure.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah. Just a quick
Okay.
comment.
Mr. Ricky, go ahead.
I think in a very short and concise way, Mr. Monroe and Mr. McMahon, you guys have really kind of brought this whole thing together and answered a lot of the questions that one citizen had if they would have stuck around to listen to it. they may have been able to walk away with a lot more information and a lot of those questions answered. I thought you guys did a very good job. As being a board member and really being on the fringes of this whole operation, knowing about it but not truly involved, I really compliment everybody that's been involved in this, pulling this all together in a very timely fashion. Even though it seems like it may have been a few years, it's really a timely fashion to pull something like this together. And I think it can only benefit the community. And we here in Avon Lake think we're the community, but really we need to think on a large scale, and Lorain County is a big part of it. And if Avon Lake can contribute to the betterment of Lorain County, I think it's definitely within our interest and within the county's interest to support it completely.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ricky. Anyone else? So we have a motion made and seconded. We'll close discussion, take a vote. We're going to do all in favor, all opposed, so that we make a recording for the paperwork that Mr. Monroe has provided. So given the motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so you have a 5-0 passage of that particular item.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, and we'll try to give the, 2X version here, Mr. Urinich, project
Yeah.
updates.
We don't have any photos this evening, just because of the brevity, but he does have a couple of quick updates.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Urinich.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, thank you
Chairman.
very much.
For the power plant update, I spoke with project manager of Chara, Mr. Wayne Woodruff, today to kind of get an update of where they were at within their current contract. So while there will still be some remediation work that is the second phase of that project, their contract he is hoping to have completed by the end of October. That will have taken care of all of the demolition of all the structures. There will still be some site remediation that has to take place, but that will be for an additional contract that is yet to be set in stone. As far as demolishing all the buildings, there is one more small structure that will be torn down. No implosions, so nothing like what has taken place already. This is a one-story building that will be taken down. But like I said, they hope to have all of that work completed by the end of October. For the water filtration plant improvements, the fluoride feed structure that has been delivered, set in place on its foundation. So that is a significant item. The carbon storage silos, there's kind of a neat picture of those. Those have been delivered. Those are 12 foot in diameter. They're some very significant structures, but those have arrived on site. They'll be forming the pads, the foundation for those structures, I believe in the next 2 weeks, and then they can get those set up. The masons have made a lot of progress. The north, east, and I believe about 90% of the south wall have all been completed with concrete block and the brick. They have started work on the west facing wall of that building. I believe they're about 30 to 40% done with the brickwork on that. But that building is coming along nicely. They're currently forming and pouring the remaining walls of the south 2 filters. So that brings everything for water filtration plant improvements. If there are any questions,
And the brick will match.
it will match.
I have a quick question. Just, will you confirm for the public that we are going to continue to feed fluoride? I've been asked that question twice now. That's why I bring it up. Is fluoride going away? It's been in the news, and I just want to, I know what the answer is, but I think we need to make sure the public understands.
We are going to continue to comply with the regulations, yes. So
The state of
fluoride-
Ohio is not doing away with fluoride in the water.
Correct.
Thank you.
And then for the TechWin project, TechWin has had their staff on site. The team that will be doing the training has arrived. They are looking to start that tomorrow. And obviously we'll have more updates as we progress through the training.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Urinich? on that? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next item, CUE report, Mr. Monroe.
I do not have anything to report this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Monroe. Any members with reports? Okay, we'll move on to public speakers. Anyone in the audience care to address the board at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to Mr. Urinich. Anyone on
No comments, Mr. Chairman.
internet? Okay, we'll move on from that. The next item is a motion to adjourn. Would someone like to make that motion?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second? Oh, moved and seconded, moved by Mrs. Schnabel, second by Mr. Ricky. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, and now we must be off.